27 weeks. I can't believe it. I've made it to the last week of my second trimester, which means that next week I will be in my third trimester, which the way I'm seeing it is basically the home stretch. So I can't believe it. Baby is 15 inches long at this point. That's head to toe now and weighs over 2 pounds. And I can definitely feel it. Her movements have changed quite a bit. They've become a lot stronger, a lot more defined. Like instead of just random jabs, I can like really tell what body parts I'm feeling, and I can sort of figure out what position she's in. At this point, she still flips around a lot. Sometimes she's head down, sometimes she's transverse, sometimes she's head up. So she's still flipping around quite a bit. About that, I am going to start doing, I don't know if any of you have heard of this website called spinningbabies.com. I'll link it down below if you're pregnant and interested. It's a website that talks about different daily things you can do to keep your baby in the ideal position for giving birth, which is head down and then facing back, you know, like towards your back, and with their back lined up on your left side. Anyway, I'll leave that link down below, and starting at about 30 weeks or so, or maybe the next week, I'm just going to start incorporating some of those daily exercises to try to encourage the baby to stay in the ideal position for birth. My main symptom this week has been emotions. Oh my gosh, I am really emotional, and although I have not had a period since January 10th, I feel PMS-y. I feel exactly the way I do before I get a period, and it's not fun. And one of the things I read, which makes me feel better, it's not all in my head, is that around this time, for whatever, I don't remember the reason, but around this time, up until this point in your pregnancy, your progesterone and estrogen levels stay fairly similar, but then at this point, your estrogen levels go way up. Like higher than the progesterone, and I think that that's what's happening to me, that my estrogen has spiked and I'm just emotional all over the place. With that comes anxiety and worries. I'm a little bit weepy. I find that I'm more attached to my husband. Like I want to be close to him and cuddle. I want reassuring words from him all the time. It's totally hormonal, and as a female, somebody who's experienced periods since the age of 12, this is hormonal. I can tell you it's estrogen that I'm feeling. So that's my main symptom. Other than that, I mentioned that I'm feeling the baby move quite a bit now. And then also just last night, I discovered something terrifying, but totally expected, and that is my very first stretch marks on my belly. So they're really low down and they're kind of underneath my belly, and I only happened to see them because I had gotten out of the shower, and when I get out of the shower, any mark on my body, like a stretch mark, is more red, like you can see it more easily, and I glanced in the mirror and I was like, what the heck is that? And I saw stretch marks. So yeah, you can hardly see them yet, but they're there, and I think that it means that I'm going to get more and they're going to get worse, which I was totally expecting. I am definitely predisposed to getting stretch marks. I have really fair skin, and I've always been quick to get stretch marks. I am putting like cocoa butter and stretch mark stuff on my stomach every day, which I don't know if you can prevent getting stretch marks. If it's going to happen, it's going to happen. But the lotion can't hurt, so I am doing that. Other than that, I am still falling in love every day more and more with my baby. I feel, especially now that I can feel her so distinctly, I really can picture that there's a baby in there, and I imagine now like she's just a miniature version of what she's going to look like when she's born, and that's really cute to me to like try to picture what her face looks like. And I get emotional. It's probably the estrogen, but I get emotional every time I picture giving birth and seeing her for the first time. I kind of get overcome with emotion, and yeah, I have to say, since my second trimester is coming to a close and I'm entering sort of a new phase of pregnancy starting next week, I've been reflecting a lot on this pregnancy, and my overwhelming feeling about it is just gratitude. I feel so grateful that it has been so smooth up until this point. I have had what I consider, this is the only pregnancy I've had, so nothing to compare it to, but I have had what I think is a really easy pregnancy. I hardly had any morning sickness in the first trimester. My energy levels have been pretty good throughout my second trimester. Even I've been able to exercise. And I just feel like up until this point, it's been such a smooth pregnancy, and I'm so grateful for that. And on top of that, as a type 1 diabetic, I'm also grateful that my blood sugars have been so good during this pregnancy. Now, that has come with a lot of hard work, and I have to say, I feel like taking care of my blood sugars during pregnancy has been a full-time job, and I've been so committed to it. Like, I check my blood sugar more than I ever have in my life, and I'm on top of that. Like, if my blood sugar starts creeping up, I'm like correcting immediately, and it's just been kind of constant work, but I see the reward from that, and I'm grateful that I've been able to do it. And I'm in the home stretch now, so there's not much longer before I get my prize, which is to meet my baby. All right, last thing I want to say before I do a belly shot is that I'm gonna do a diabetes Q&A. I recently uploaded a day in the life video about how my special diet based on my diabetes restrictions, and I got quite a lot of questions from that video, and I decided that it would be helpful. Like, first of all, a lot of people were asking similar questions, but even the ones that were unique, I thought this would probably be helpful for all of my diabetic viewers. So instead of answering them each one by one, and maybe even if I have already answered your question individually, I'm gonna film a Q&A video and cover those questions more in detail. So for diabetics out there, if you have any more questions, leave them in the comments below, and I will make sure to include those in my Q&A when I film that. All right, so here's my 27-week belly shot. Alright guys, so that's my 27-week update. Thanks as always for watching, and if you have any questions, leave them down below, and especially if you're a diabetic and you have a specific question for me that you want me to answer about, like, why I do something a certain way, or how I mean whatever related to my diet, injections, history, leave those down below as well, and I will include those in my diabetes Q&A. Alright, so I hope all of you guys have a great week, and I will see you next week for my 28-week update, which will be third trimester. I can't believe it. It's happening, guys. It's really, really happening. All right, I'll see you next week. Bye.